Okay, let's start with any questions that you may have. I hope you guys can hear me. If you don't have any questions, we will jump into some Dhamma discussion, something. Okay, great. You can hear me now. I don't know if Lucas, did you share that document I shared with you? Maybe if you can share that document, we can probably go through that until we come across a question. Sure. Yesterday, actually, I went. I was thinking what to discuss today, and then, and also one of my the workers, so working from Sri Lanka, she had an issue. She was worrying, so I was thinking. Am I in or am I not in? I'm a bit lost with this software. Sorry, I'm just very new. I've never used this. Okay, good. I have no clue what I'm doing, to be honest with you. But that's how it is. This world is like that. We think we know what we are doing, but we really don't know most of it, which is the dangerous thing. We do things thinking that we know, and we think that this is the right thing, but then all of a sudden everything goes upside down when we understand the Dhamma. It's like whatever we were doing was totally the opposite. It's useless. So, yeah, coming back to the Dhammapada verse, so that came to my mind all of a sudden, Tanha Jayati Sukho, Tanha Jayati Bhayang. So, what it means is this is the main one that I had in my mind, Tanha. Because Tanha is Tan Yam Yam Tanhi Haveno. That is the attachment. Right? Oh, cravings, oh the need to get something. So when you're with Tanha, you really badly want that to happen. But then effectively that Tanha results in Soka, which is the suffering. So that is what it means. Tanha Jayati Soko. Tanha Jayati Bhayang. The sorrow, and then Tanha Jayati Bhayang, that results to fear. So where there is no Tanha, that is Tanha Vippamuttasa. Natti Soko, there is no Soka, there is no suffering, sorrow. So how can there be any fear? So that is what it says, and with a background story of a Brahmin. He was a non-Buddhist who knew who was a farmer. He badly wanted to give the first offering of his rice, of his field, to the Buddha. So he was looking forward to it. So looking forward is the Tanha. You're looking forward to something. You have an in your mind. You have you have some kind of want, need, objective, aim. So you're looking forward to that. But then it doesn't happen the way you want. It doesn't necessarily happen the way you want it to happen. So it could be a good thing. It could be anything, right? It could be a selfish thing that you want it for yourself. It could even be something like almsgiving. It could be something to see a noble person. It could be to do meditation. It could be to go for a meditation program. It could be even something like that. But end of the day, It is a tanha. It's an attachment in your mind. It's an attachment. You want that to happen, but the thing is, what you want happen does not necessarily happen. So that is when the suffering and the sorrow comes into play, and fear comes with it. That's why they say Arihatun Wahanse, the enlightened ones, they don't fear for nothing. They're not attached. They don't fear. Fear is for losing something. You fear to lose. You fear to lose your ones or you, what you believe is you. So your fear, you're scared to lose yourself, or you're scared that they will kill you, and you're scared that you will lose yourself, or you're scared that you will lose your loved ones or your things or something that you believe that belongs to you. So that fear is attached to some kind of tanha. If there is no tanha, you don't care. Say you put something outside thinking that I don't want it. Say you had a microwave and you had enough with the microwave. And you bought a new one. It's working, it's fine, but you put it outside, you don't want it. Then someone is looking at it, you don't care. Someone is touching it, you don't care. You want them to take it away. That's what you want. You'll be happy if they take it away. You're not scared that someone will take it away. But if you put you brought a microwave in and your son put the wrong one outside and kept the old one inside, and you see that outside, I'm like, oh my God, if someone touches it, someone goes there, you'll be scared. Oh no, don't take that. That's the new one. That's the one I brought home now. So I want it. So where there is a want, where there is a need, attachment, there is suffering, there is sorrow. So that's what we need to understand. Because that co-worker, she's working for me actually. She wanted to finish the given job, but she couldn't finish it. She was worried. She was like, "Oh, I wanted to get this done for you by this date." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but it's no point worrying about it. You couldn't get it done, but that's fine." And then I thought it's good to give it to her because her intention was to make me happy by doing it and completing it. But sometimes things happen and then it doesn't happen the way we want it. We just need to adapt to it and then just walk the path rather than worrying about it. So this happens every day to everyone. We want things done the way we want. They never happen the way we want. They happen how it's supposed to happen for the reasons behind it. So that's what you need to understand. And in the same document, I think Lucas will share it with you guys. I don't know if he had shared with you guys yet, or he will share after the discussion. Okay, great. So in the same one, it's all about the same kind of things. Piyato. They're talking about piyato, priyabhavya, affection. That's one thing. And then they're talking about the pemato, premaya, love, endearment. And then ratya, attachment. Then kamato, kame, lust. Then tanha, craving. They all end up with the same sorrow and fear. So in different stories, in different background stories, with different background stories, it's the same, pretty much the same words used. Pemati jayati soko, pemati jayati bhayam. Pemato vipamuttasya natti soko kuto bhayam. So what you can do is when you listen to this, when something happens to you in the day-to-day life, in the worldly life, You start suffering, you start worrying, you're like sad. Then you think about it. Why am I sad? The result sad was because of some kind of attachment, some kind of craving, some kind of affection. So then you try to find out what was this. This is what gave me this. So if I wasn't attached, if I wasn't craving, if I didn't have this lust or affection, then I wouldn't end up in this suffering or sorrow or fear. So that's what you need to think. Then you feel much better. So then you don't attach that much in future. And then comes to the next one. Ratya jayati soko, ratya jayati bhayam. Ratya vipamuttasya natti soko kutho bhayam. This was the background story of this is regarding some Lichavi princesses. The princesses were on their way to the pleasure garden, and there they quarreled over a prostitute, and soon came to blows. As a result, some of them had to be carried home bleeding. As the Buddha returned to the bhikkhus after his meal in his town, they saw the wounded princesses being carried home. In connection with the above incident, bhikkhus remarked, for the sake of a woman, these Lichavi princesses are ruined. So that's what happened. Because they were too much in Ratya. Ratya is the attachment. And then again Kamato. Kamato is lust. Again with lust as well. Right? So these are all connected. So that's what I want to say. Tanha is the main thing that we need to worry about. It depends on how much tanha you have for each and individual thing or person. So the more tanha, the more suffering you have. I'm sure I have explained this before about creating lists and checking where you are attached most and where you are suffering most. I think even Amadasana Theru probably have mentioned this in the past. I'm not sure if I did. If you make a list of the most loved list, so if you write a name of 5 people who you love most, and then on the other side of it, you write the name of 5 people who give you the most pleasure, as in who you think would make you most happy. And then on the third page, you write of the names of the 5 people who you would worry most if you lose them. So if you check these 3 lists, whoever you loved most, you believe gives the most happiness, and then you believe you will be saddest by losing that person. So who gave the most sadness? The person who you loved most. Actually, it's not the person who gave the sadness, because it depends on your attachment. No one has asked you to get attached with that person that much. You are the one who's doing the list. So your list is different from anyone else's list. So you are the one who's saying, I am going to suffer most because of this person. So it's not that person who's giving you the suffering, it's you who's creating the suffering. Say, for example, that list can change over time. If that list changes, the issue is it changes together. all three lists change together. So this is the most interesting thing. Whoever is most attached gives the most suffering. So attachment is in your mind. So you are creating the attachment yourself. So that is what you need to be looking at. Okay, I created the attachment, so I have created the suffering. And you have created the pleasure yourself in your mind, because it's the pleasure is in your mind as well. You are creating it's mentally fabricated. That is why it's mentally fabricated, because you are creating it. If you weren't attached that much, you won't be having that pleasure that much. You're attaching very strongly and you're creating a pleasure. And again, you're creating the suffering by attaching very strongly. So this is where you need to understand. This is the thing that you need to understand. So the more you suffer, the more you attach, the more you suffer. Where there is no attachment, there is no suffering. Natti soko kuto vayang. There is no sorrow. How can there be fear? So this is where the scare, the fear comes from. This is what you need to understand. So this is something which you can use most of the time, because we all have some kind of fear. So if you want to know why you fear, and it is again, some people might have this problem. Okay, how about Dvesha? I need to know about Dvesha too here. I get angry. How do I stop getting angry? Again, Dvesha is because of Raga. Where there is no Raga, there is no Dvesha. So you are attached to at least yourself too much. You have a big ego. Yesterday, there was a good example. It's a good example, but I wasn't happy about myself, about the incident that happened. I was driving and a lady was trying to park. So I was trying to come out of the car park, but I had to reverse in order to get out of the car park. When I reversed, I had blocked her way somehow, and she wanted to drive into a car parking space, which she couldn't because I reversed, and she was so angry. So she was looking at me very angrily. But then, at that time, I wasn't too calm either. I was angry too. All of a sudden, anger came to me. But and then I realized I was, at the same time, it occurred to me that, oh, I'm getting angry. Why am I getting angry? And then I'm doing this test. I'm like, I need to do this. What is happening to me? Why am I getting angry? But then again, I'm thinking, oh, I'm upset. This lady was so angry. She was like, she even said something. And she did some, from her hand, she did something, and she was just being so sarcastic. It doesn't matter what she did. It doesn't matter what she said. It's not. So this is where we need to understand. This is the most important thing, right? So what the most important thing here is, it doesn't matter what she did. What matters is what I did in my mind. How I reacted to it is what matters most. I even thought about it today. I was like, I was so upset. Why did I react to that? I didn't react. I wasn't. I would have reacted so differently if I hadn't listened to this Dhamma, or if I wasn't walking the path. That's a different story. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the thought process that went through my mind. I wasn't satisfied with. I was thinking I shouldn't even regard that at all. I shouldn't care at all. I shouldn't be bothered at all. I should just ignore totally, but I couldn't. So I was worried. I was a little bit concerned. I was like, oh, why did she say that? What is wrong with her? What is wrong with her? I was like that. But how I should be thinking is that is how people are. If she wasn't, so that was a very good exercise. And she was giving me a test, and I failed the test, which is very important. This is what I wanted to tell you. So, this is what you need to be doing. This is what we need to be doing. We need to be doing this exercise at all the time. We need to be doing this exercise, and we need to be passing the exam, not failing the exam. I did fail, and I'm glad I failed because I realized where I am. At the time, I was like, I wasn't happy. I thought I was much better than this, but I wasn't that good. I couldn't control myself. I'm talking in my mind. I'm not talking about words or actions. I'm talking in my mind, and my breath went up and down very heavily, and I was kind of acting very different, and I was strange, and then I suffered because of how I reacted. It's nothing to do with her. Anyone can do whatever they like, but it is me who is controlling myself. I didn't control myself there. I was just reacting very not like a person who understood Dhamma very well, right? Maybe to a certain extent, but I wasn't happy. So what I'm trying to say here is this is what we need to be doing all the time. These are very, very common examples. You come across these examples day to day, every day. I'm sure you guys do. I do. But most of the time we tackle them very easily. We are happy. The good thing is most of the time we smile. When those things happen, we smile. We are like, oh, we realize it early, and we realize that it doesn't affect us. And then we become happy. Etang santang etam panetang. That is what we are used to. Oh, this is not Nibbhana. This is Raga. This is Dvesha. Ragakhayo, Nibbhana, Dvesakhayo, Nibbhana, Mohakayo, Nibbhana. So you see that most of the time you tackle it. It's not like tackling by watching it, but it happens automatically most of the time. But sometimes it goes over it, and then sometimes you react. So these are the times that you need to be very careful, and you need to react properly, and then you get to the state, okay, yeah. At least I was aware, I was conscious, I knew what was going in my head, but I wasn't happy with I wasn't happy with how I was reacting, but I was conscious. I knew, I was thinking, what the hell? What is going on in my mind? I shouldn't react to this like this. I shouldn't be bothered at all. But I am a little bit bothered. Why am I bothered? So I was just contemplating. I was doing that itself is a meditation. But this is what you need to be doing. This is what we need to be doing. We need to be doing this all the time, but we need to be passing the exam all the time. The issue there was I failed the exam. In my head, I failed. But it is a good failure because I know, okay, this is where I am. I think I am here, but I am not there yet. I am somewhere here. But good. I know where I am now. Let's go. Face the world. See how I can face this tomorrow or next time. So she was, and only today I realized what I said to Michael. Remember, she was good. She was a teacher. She came as a teacher to me. I was thinking that is when I got rid of the slight anger I had. Until then, I had a slight anger inside me. So that's really bad. I accept it is bad, but that is the reality. That is what happened. So this is and then I thought about it. That she was actually a teacher. She came to teach me something. And she taught me that I am not yet there, I am here. So I still need to improve a lot. That's what she taught me. So then, when that feeling came, then when that thought came into my mind, then I thought, okay, why should I hate her? She has done me a favor. Then the anger went away. So I'm not angry anymore. I wasn't angry anymore. Until then, I had a slight anger. I wasn't like totally upset. I wasn't like totally hating or anything. I didn't have any kind of, it's not like a hatred, but I was upset and I had a slight bit of anger there somewhere. So these are very, very important things which I believe you can learn from. So any questions from anyone? It's just I don't know if these are going to help you guys, or is it just you need to give some feedback so I know this, whether these kind of examples will help you or these kind of examples are useless. Sometimes they might be useless as well, right? I don't know where you guys are, because you might be not on you might be on a totally different level where this is like too basic for you. I don't know, but sometimes these might be useful, right? So we are all, I believe that we are all walking the path. We might be in different different places. That's a different thing, but end of the day, I believe this is because we need to, the first main thing is we need to face the reality and we need to be honest to ourselves. If we try to kid ourselves, that's the most dangerous thing. We will never go forward. We can't go forward. We can't be, bluffing. This is not a poker table. You can't bluff. You need to be honest. You need to know where you are. You need to know what your problems are. You need to know when you get angry. You need to know your faults. The more you know, the more transparent you are, the faster you walk this route, this path, which is very important. We shouldn't be ashamed to talk our bad, because we all have been there, right? We are here. We are still here because we are not saints. We are not. We haven't achieved Nibbhana. So we have done all the bad things. Whatever we can do, we have done in the past. There's nothing that probably we have missed in terms of bad things. We have missed all the good things. That's why we are still here. But now we are trying to do good things slowly, and we are trying to walk the good path. So basically, we get angry when things happen the other way. We would like them to happen. Yeah, that's right. So we have a itch in our minds. We want this to happen this way, but it doesn't happen that way. So this was to do with the ego as well. Ego is a big problem. Ego is a big problem that I have, which I know. Ego is one of the biggest problems I have. It's gone down quite a lot, but still there. A lot. So these are things that we need to know. Okay, and then we can, as when you see them, it's easier for you to tackle them. You know what your problems are, because if you don't know your problems, or if you're trying to cover your problems, then it's harder for you to tackle them and then overcome them. So the more you know, the better. So try to get to as transparent as possible, at least for yourself. You don't have to tell everyone. You don't need to say, I have this fault, that fault, I'm doing this, and this. But at least if you know, then what you can do is early in the morning, you think, okay, I normally do these wrong things. Let me try and not do it today. Just one day. Stopping one thing a day is not too hard, right? So you do that one day, and then you do the same thing next day. But do it when you're thinking. You just think, I'm going to do it just today. So, and then another good thing that I was asked to do by a healer. He's not, he's into Buddhism, but he's not into this kind of Buddhism this much, but he heals a lot of people. So he was telling me, early in the morning, wake up and think that today I am not going to do any bad for anyone. I'm going to do only good to everyone. So this is something very good. It is kind of Maitri Bhavana, but it is probably the Laukika Maitri Bhavana. It is the worldly Maitri Bhavana. So if you can do the Arya Maitri Bhavana, the noble loving and kindness, that is much better than this. So instead of doing that, I I sit down to do that because he asked me to do that, but then I end up doing the Arya Maitri Bhavana, and I it is much more valuable than anything else. So I do Arya Maitri Bhavana and then stand up, and then I think today I will focus and somehow not hurt anyone, not hurt as in not even hurt their feelings. Try not to hurt anyone's feelings or anything. So it is very hard because it's not something people get hurt for no reason sometimes. So sometimes it doesn't matter what you say, they get hurt. So whatever you answer, especially like your wife, if you're married, you probably know by experience, it doesn't matter what you give as the answer. If you keep quiet, it's even worse. So you have to answer. So you have maybe two answers, regardless of what the answer is. It's gonna fire back onto you. But that's how it is. Life is like that. Unfortunately, we brought ourselves here. No one did. We did. So now we got to face it. It's nothing. Anyone hasn't done anything to us. It's just we have done everything to us. So we only person who we can blame is ourselves. No one else. You can't blame anyone. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame your wife or your husband or your kids or your parents. Or your teachers. It's nothing to do with them. It's yourself. You brought here yourself. So what you gave, you're getting back. What you have now is what you, like they say, you get what you deserve. So you've got what you deserve. Or in terms of karma, vipaka. You have got what you were supposed to get. You can change it, which is another thing. You change the samanantara. I don't know if you know how to do that. If you change the samanantara, the relevant anantara will come to come and meet. As in, like what I'm trying to say is, you change the environment. So when you change the environment, whatever that comes through is related to that environment. So that's why it's like if you are in a boat or in the middle of the sea, whatever karma vipaka that comes to you at the time would be to do with that surrounding, that environment. So if you go to the Satara Apaya, all the Satara Apaya, anything to do with the Satara Apaya will come to you. If you're in a Manusya, if you become a Deva, you're not going to get the Manusya Vipaka. You're not going to get the Satara Apaya Vipaka when you're Deva. You get all the Vipaka to do with Deva when you're Deva. When you're in England, you get anything to do with the England related ones. If you are in Sri Lanka, you get anything to do with Sri Lanka. If you're in with thieves, right? You get anything to do with that surrounding that environment. So that is why you can change the environment and change the outcome, the vipaka, according to that. So that is why some people say, okay, can you get rid of your vipaka? You can get rid of your vipaka, yes. Some of the vipaka, when you become Sotapanna, you get rid of all the vipaka to do with Satarapaya. You're not going to ever get anything to do with Satarapaya after you become a Sotapanna, because you're never going back to Satarapaya. They become Ahosi Karma. I don't know if you guys have heard about Ahosi Karma. Ahosi means it becomes null and void kind of thing. So they don't play anymore that vipaka role. So they just vanish, they just disappear. There are vipaka, some of the vipaka, they even come back even if you're enlightened. Like Lord Buddha, he had a terrible headache. And Mughal Maharata Wahanse, these thieves killed Mughal Maharata Wahanse at the end, because there was a vipaka in one of his previous lives, long time ago. He killed his parents. He spent so many billion years in the Satarapaya, including the Atamaha Narake, and came back. But he still got vipaka. As vipaka, he still got beaten. So some of them stay there. Some of them get ahosi, as in null and void. So you can, what you can do is you can change the environment. So this is what you guys are doing now. You are changing the environment. You are listening to Dhamma. You are doing a lot of meditation. You are creating a white ray or Shuddha Kiran around you. It's a lot of positive energy around you. So most of the black energy goes away from you. So in terms of diseases, you get rid of a lot of diseases that way. You get rid of bad energy, a lot of bad energy. So bad energy cannot stay with you. So you're creating a lot of white or good energy. So you're creating a very good environment around you. So that is why sometimes in a house, only one person listens to Dhamma first. And then after some time, when that person understands Dhamma, after a few days, he understands, he gets this installed, and now he can't wait to give it to his spouse. Right? He's trying his best, but his wife doesn't like to listen to the Dhamma at all. It's like, what the hell is this? Go away from me. If you want, you can listen to it, but I don't want it. But slowly the environment changes. After a few months, the wife also slowly starts listening to this. Then they change. This change happens because of the surrounding, because of the energy created in the house. It doesn't just happen. And for that person, the other person, to listen to Dhamma, that energy or the surrounding has to be created. It's not going to happen over time. It's not going to happen in 2-3 days or 1 month's time sometimes. It happens after 6 months, maybe 1 year, 2-3 years time. It depends. So those are also other things. Some people have this question. They want to give the Dhamma to their spouse. They try hard. The harder they try, the more they fail, because they are trying to give it too fast. You can't do that. The time has to come for them to absorb it. So it's the same way, like you absorbed it when you were ready for it. No one could give it to you by force. So it's the same with others. So that's another thing that you need to know. So any questions? Today it doesn't look like you have any questions. Any questions related to this? Anything to do with this? And then I can talk about something related to that. Then it might make more sense rather than me going into some topic that is not very interesting, maybe. Lucas, you sent me okay. You sent me a discussion of Harkatero. I will listen to something much more detailed, relevant to that, and then maybe come back to you on that. There wasn't a lot in there either. It wasn't too long, and it didn't have a lot to learn from there. I can't remember. I just listened to it once quickly, but I couldn't find anything amazing as such. Maybe because I have listened to it so many times, but I didn't think there was anything that you guys didn't know about. So, but I will listen to something relevant to that. Okay. What else? Maybe we can discuss about the Arya Ashtangika Margya one day, the eightfold path, Samma Ditti, because now you know what Samma Ditti is. Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, Samma Vayam, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. So Samma Samadhi is the four jhana. But before that, there are in the eightfold path, you have Samma Sankappa, Vacha, Kammanta, Ajiva, Vayama, Sati. So those we can discuss on another day. Maybe something else. Oh, maybe we can talk about maybe Dhammacakka Pavattana Sutra one day. The first sermon, which is a very good sermon. In that they talk about the Four Noble Truths and how this jati becomes a dukkha. Maybe that is a good sutra that we can talk about. Might take more than a day for that, but at least then what happens is if you guys want to talk about something like that, or we can just talk about some small concept in more detail, which is also sometimes very, very interesting, because then what you do is when you do start to meditate, you can go into deeper detail of that particular thing, which really helps me. Some people, they do a lot of vidarshana, and this is what you're supposed to do. When you go into deep meditation, you are supposed to do a lot of vidarshana. Then when you know a lot of Dhamma, then it's easier for you to contemplate, and it helps a lot. For me, it's been really good, actually. So maybe we can do that too. Is that good now? Touch. I don't know. Touch to return to Discord, it says. I don't know. It looks okay to me, but I'm not sure. Okay. So, any Karmasthana, maybe we can talk about maybe a simple Karmasthana. I need to come back on the Oh, actually, regarding that, I will tell you another experience if you guys don't mind, Lucas. Um, a couple of days ago, I had this my eye test. So I went to the hospital. So then they put some liquid into your eye before they take these images of your eye, right? So they put the liquid and then they took the images. They said, that's all done. Now you can go. Now I came out of the hospital and I'm trying to, well, I drove to the hospital. I had to drive back. You're not allowed to do it. Actually, they say they ask you not to drive afterwards. I came out and then I could barely see. I could barely see around. So I felt like I am half blind. I could see some people moving around. That was it. I couldn't recognize anyone and I couldn't read any signs. As in, I couldn't read any letters or anything. So I was standing in one corner. I was just looking around like a blind person. And then I came to this because I wanted to remember I was going to discuss about asa anicca dukkha anatta and then rupayo anicca dukkha anatta. I said I understand rupayo anicca dukkha anatta, but I don't understand asa anicca dukkha anatta. And then at the time I realized this is asa anicca dukkha anatta. So maybe you can take something from here. That is why I came to here this discussion. So then I realized asa. It's not nichai, it's anichai. We don't want our asa to be this, right? This is what happened. This is when I realized about the asa anichai. So, and therefore it's dukkhai, and therefore it's anattai. So this is probably what I missed in the. I'm not. By the way, I'm not 100% sure of this. If it's this asa they are talking about, or they are talking about a different asa. I have heard in different sermons about a different asa. It's not the muscle asa. It's not the physical eye that we are talking about. A normal person is talking about. It is the they say it's the chakku prasada rupa. So there is something like that, which is a little bit more advanced than asa. But even this is good enough for now. I was thinking, even if I know about this asa, this is even this masle asa is anicca. Rupa, they are anicca anyway. I don't need to be told about rupa anicca dukkha anatta. I know about rupa anicca dukkha anatta, but I wasn't 100% sure about the asa anicca dukkha anatta. So this, when I lost my vision, that's when I felt, oh, this is kind of, this is what they are talking about. This is anicca dukkha anatta. Now I am attached to this, but now I feel like I can't see it. I can't see. I'm losing my vision. Oh my God! So this is what happened when this is why people worry. People like to see. They can't not see. They don't want to not see. So they're attached to seeing. They want to see. They want to fulfill their eye or the chakku vinyana. But it will never be fulfilled. That's a different story. But this came to my mind. So it's so the same way it's as anicca dukkha anattai, rupayo anicca dukkha anattai, then chakku vinyanayo anicca dukkha anattai. Then you come to khana. Anicca dukkha anattai. The ear, it's the same thing. When one day you can't hear anything. And then shabdayo. Shabda anicca dukkha anattai. It's never going to fulfill in one way, and it's never going to be Kamathi say, no, it's not the way you want. It's not going to happen the way you want in a different view. So those are the things that you... Then nasaya anicchai dukkha anattai. Gandhayo anicchai dukkha anattai. It's never going to fulfill. We just suffer trying to fulfill it, and it's in vain. It's a pointless exercise that we are doing. Then deva, rasayo, khaya, sparsha, mana, dharma. So that is that karmasthana. Anything else that you want to ask? The most important thing is these have to... You should be conscious, which is what is important. No matter how much... Say, for example, you spend 2 hours. At this 2 hours, or maybe 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, you do a lot of... Say you do meditation, you spend a lot of time listening to Dhamma, and then you come out of it, and when you spend the day-to-day life, if you are not applying this, evang upasangharati, that is what Buddha said. Always put these into your day-to-day life and compare and contrast and take this into your life. That is when it starts working for you. That is when you improve. That is when you go walk the path properly. So you have to use these. Whatever you learn, you have to start using it. Unless you use it, it's no point listening to all these. So try to use as much as you can and try to concentrate all the time. Make sure you are aware of what is happening. So that is satya. Nothing else. It is indriya bhavana. This is all linked. It's not, okay, now this is time for work. This is time for family. This is time for Dhamma. No, Dhamma can be applied all the time, 24 hours. It can be applied, right? So as long as you're conscious and know what is going on, you are good. I am not saying applications are going to work all the time. I'm not going to say that, okay, family life, this can apply and then you can be happy all the time. Everything will go smoothly, fine. No, I'm not saying that. It is also anicca. You need to understand that. It is never going to be nicca sukha atta. But the thing is, as long as you know, okay, this is anicca. So this is okay. I'm trying to keep calm, but this woman is trying to wind me up. That is also coming as vipaka. One way you can think, I am just giving these examples and I am telling you these things this way so that you understand. When it comes to that, when you get to that example, you look at it in that manner. You're like, okay, yeah, this is what I learned. This is what I heard in the Dhamma. This is happening in real life. This is anicca. Of course it is anicca. And then you prove it. You prove it yourself. Yes, of course. I thought this is nature. I thought my wife, I thought my child, I thought my house, my car was all nicca sukha atta subha. Where is the nicca sukha atta subha? Of course it is anicca. The more you think about anicca, the more you concentrate on anicca, the more you let them go. You don't let it go first and then try to do something. It is not the way you do it. You concentrate on anicca and it will let go automatically. You won't be attached to it anymore. It is like you realize that something is not worth. Then no one has to tell you, don't be attached to this. Like you got a briefcase from your dad, and you believed there was $100,000 in there, but then you realized one day you opened it. Your dad is died now. You opened it, and you found out there's nothing in there. Now you close it. Until then, you were protecting like your life. Oh my God, there's 100,000 in there. You thought there is 100,000 in there, but there's nothing in there. Now you know it. So no one has to tell you, don't protect this. Before, you could have got killed trying to protect it because you wouldn't let it go. You can't let it go because you're attached to it. You're attached to 100,000. Oh my God, I can't let it go. There's 100,000 in there. But the moment you get to know there's nothing in there, no one has to ask you to let it go. You will give it to them. Take it and go. Please. So that is how this changes. So don't try to let everything go first. That's not the way to do it. You try to understand the reality. Understand, look, if there is any value, if there is any actual value, then you will understand that there is no value. Then when you understand that there is no value, that is when you will just let it go. No one has to tell you, please let it go. You will be like, you wouldn't care about anything anymore. You will get to the state where you don't care. You're like the state Lucas was explaining last week, asking about questions. It is some kind of state like that. Yes. And then, but you need to realize some of the things we have to do. Unfortunately, that is how it is. We have to get some things done. Unfortunately, we have created this body ourselves. No one created it for us. We did it. Now we have to live with it until we die. So the best thing we can do is before we die, if we can make sure we don't create another body for the next life, we are good. If we do create one, then we have a suffering left to do with that body. Like I had some questions from NR, I think it was, I don't know who NR is, but so he was asking, how much of a suffering do you have when you become anagami? And what is the suffering left? So anything to do with the sangyojana that is left, you have the suffering to do with those sangyojana. Mana uddacha avidya. Then those are left. Also rupa raga, arupa raga. So anything to do with those will be left. So those are the sufferings. So that is what you're attached to. So when you get rid of those, any suffering to do with that will go with it. It is like you have a dog. That means you have all the sufferings to do with a dog. You say, I don't have a dog. Effectively, you're saying, I don't have any sufferings to do with a dog. You say, I have a dog. I have all the sufferings to do with a dog. So once you get rid of the dog, you got rid of all the sufferings to do with that dog. You have a car. It's the same thing. I have all the sufferings to do with the car. Because the thing is, you only see the bright side. The suffering is covered from the bright side. I have a car. With the ego, I have this kind. I have a BMW. I have a Mercedes or Range Rover, whatever it is. So you think that way. So you can't see the sufferings to do with it. Because you're looking at it. It is covered. That is with the moha. It's all covered with the moha. With the darkness. You only see that I have a car, I can travel with it, and it's a lot of prestige, blah, blah, blah. That is all you see. Nothing to do with how much I spent on this, how much road tax, how much MOT, how much insurance, breakdown cover maybe, and then you have the fear factor because you're attached to it. You have fear factor. You have a sorrow factor because you're attached to it. You like it. You don't want it to disappear overnight. So you have those. You're trying to protect it. So everything to do with all the sufferings. If you count the sufferings, it's been said that Ashvada matre adinava dahasai. Ashvada is asada. Asada, you know asada? Matre is a tiny little bit of asada. For a tiny little bit of asada, you have adinava dahasa. Thousands of adinava. Adinava is the outcome, the bad outcome. But you don't see them. You only see the asada bit. Imagine you want to fulfill some kind of desire. Anything. Take anything. You want to buy a car. Or you want to buy a house. How much suffering is involved in there? Imagine how much suffering is involved. You have to save money. You have to start eating less. You have to start going less trips, no vacations, save money, work hard, more work, overtime, everything to do this, to get to this. What do you actually get after doing all the savings and at the end? After maybe you save for about a year, at least, depending on your salary. And then you still have to probably, that is probably just for the deposit, and probably you have to finance it, or you have to go for a mortgage if it's a house. It's not easy to buy a house with the savings in a year or two. It's only enough for a deposit, or maybe not enough for a deposit either. You have to save for sometimes 4 or 5 years. So saving 4 or 5 years is you're sacrificing a lot of things when you're saving. You're not doing a lot of things that you could have done with that money. That is also an outcome of that. And then at the end, you say, I bought a house. What changes? Nothing did actually change. It's just your mind. You start thinking, this is my house. You start thinking, this is my car. You brought in a my factor to it, and then got an extra attachment, and so many sufferings to do with it. That's all you did. And you say you bought a house and you die the next day after all the suffering. Imagine. Would you go anywhere? Is there reasons for you to leave that house? Or the reasons are left to stay there? Most of the time, that's what happened. People don't leave that house. They can't leave. They just become a preta and live in there, because this is my house. That is what is gone into their mind, deeper into their mind. This is my house. I suffered so much for this. I'm never going to leave this. That is what they have in their mind. And it is very, very valuable to them. It is very, very important to them. Imagine you understood we are just living in this. A person can buy a house. Buying a house is not a problem. It didn't make any difference buying a house. If you get attached to the house, that is where the problem is. It is not about buying a house. It's not about living in a house either. Because Tathagatan Vahanse, Lord Buddha, stayed in Jetavanarama. And that was a very prestigious place. It was a palace. Didn't mean anything. So that's how you should look at it, and you should look at these things as if you are renting them rather than it's your own. The more you think that it is your own, the more you suffer. Live as if you're renting it. You're paying a mortgage anyway. So imagine that's the think that as your rent. If you want to sell it one day, sell it. That's so totally fine. Don't. I'm not sure if you guys understand what I'm saying by it is just the thought process that needs to be changed. Rather than thinking this is mine, this is my house, no one, this is only mine kind of thing. That is a dangerous a thought process to have. You can live in a house, you can own a house, but in your mind, don't own it. Let the papers say it's under you, but don't put it in your mind that way. Don't have that in your mind, written in your mind. The moment you write it in your mind, that is when you get into trouble, because then you start suffering. I don't understand. I'm not sure whether you understand what I'm saying, but I hope you understand to a very good extent. The more you think about this, the more you will understand. The more you listen to Dhamma and contemplate on these things. When you let it go, when you're not attached to it, you start understanding how much of a relief you have, how happy you are. You will see people suffering. You will see a lot of people suffering. Recently, I was checking for election results in Sri Lanka. And then there was this movie. And in the movie, there was a father. He loved his family so much. Father, mother, and son. The father loved his wife and his son so much, he was so attached. Unbelievably attached. Three of them were so attached. And in front of the father, his wife and his son met with an accident and got killed in front of his eyes. It is a movie, yes, but the suffering he went through in the movie itself was unbelievably high. He couldn't take it. He almost became he lost his mind pretty much. He started drinking. He drank every day. He was the best teacher in his school, and he was kicked out of the school because of this incident, the way he reacted to it. So those things. So what I saw when I saw that, all of a sudden, what I realized was, look at the way he's attached. This attachment resulted in this shock. If he wasn't attached to them this much, he wouldn't be as shocked as this. So it has a direct relationship. That is what I saw when I watched the movie, that part. I saw it, and all of a sudden, my wife was also there. I mentioned, see, look at this. Look at how he's suffering. That's what I said. Watch carefully. Watch how he's suffering. And try to understand why he's suffering that much. So that is what you need to understand. So in the world, when you're living in the world, you will see a lot of people suffering. Then you will compare. So you what you do is you're comparing yourself, right? That's what you're doing. You're learning, comparing you. So you compare and think, okay, am I suffering for this much? No. That is because I have understood. But these people are too attached. They haven't understood the Dhamma. That is why they are suffering so much. So the more you contemplate, the more you put these into practice, the more you use these in your real life, the more you overcome the suffering, the more happy you will be. And then you'll be happy. You'll see everything. Oh my God, I would have suffered this much before. But I'm only, well, you probably suffer a little, like I did yesterday. But it will be really less. And you will be happy. At the end, you'll be so happy that you are here now. And would have been a lot different if it was a long time ago, before you knew about any of these Dhamma. So that is the good thing about it. Yes, Lucas. I was recently reflecting about having a crush on a girl many years ago with Raga, Karmasthana. Exactly. This is what you need to be doing. When you do the Karmasthana, take examples from your life. Because then you will get to the feeling, because you need to get to the feel. It's no point saying words. It's the feel. For you to get the feel, you need to get to the examples. Ragagini is a very good one. Ragagini, oh my God. As soon as you say raga, that gini should come to your mind, and all the examples to do with raga gini should come. Then you get the feel. Oh my God. And then Dvesha Gini, where you were burning from Dvesha, all the examples to do with Dvesha Gini should come into your mind. Dvesha Gini Nivan Suvadane Nava. Then Dvesha Gini, all the Dvesha Gini, you're going to feel the Dvesha Gini. How much I suffered because of this Dvesha. I was like a mad person at the time. I acted like this. But now I'm so calm, thanks to the Dhamma. Then after all this, then you come to this Nattime Sarnang Anyang. This is the only way. This is the only method. Then you get to the proper feel, and that's when you go to the dhyana very easily, very quickly, very effectively. So this is the feel. Every time it is about the feeling. It's the feeling, not the words. Every time try to put Dhamma into your life. It will be really interesting, because there is Dhamma everywhere. Everywhere is Dhamma. Anything you can, wherever you go, whatever you do, you can put Dhamma into it. Because you're in the world. You're attached to the world. We are all attached to the world. Still. Hmm? So then you need to look at what you're attached to. How much you're attached to. Why you are doing this. And what you get by doing this. Yeah. Well, we should be actually dissatisfied with the progress, because we always want to go further and further, right? That is the hunger to go forward, which is also a good thing. You're dissatisfied with the progress because you want to go faster. Again, it's the same question you're asking in a different way. You want to be there. You want to go there fast. But you can't go as fast as you want to go sometimes. Did I Was it here that I mentioned about trying to go fast? Because you shouldn't try to go fast. This is not something that you try to go fast, because you're trying to go fast in the world. I don't know if I mentioned it here. The fast pace is in the world. There is no fast pace in the path to enlightenment. You slow down, you stop. That's what Buddha said to Angulimala. Angulimala said, Mahana, stop. Angulimala asked Buddha to stop. And then Buddha said, you are the one who's running. I stopped. So that's what we need to get to. And that is what the real stopping is. So stopping from Raga, stopping from Dvesha, stopping from Moha. We are running with Raga, we are running with Dvesha, we are running with Moha. So we are running around with Raga, Dvesha, Moha. The moment you stop Raga, Dvesha, Moha, then you're not running. So you're not concerned about a result. Then the results come. So that is how you get the results. You are trying to get to somewhere. It's like you're trying to go to a dhyana. The more you try, the more you fail. The moment you give up trying to go to dhyana, you go to the dhyana. That's how it is. You don't try. Trying is not something that you do in here. Trying, you put the effort. Putting the effort is a different thing, but trying is your trying. It's nothing to try. You just stop the abhisankara process. Or abhisankara came into a question. I think Lucas sent me a message about abhisankara process as well. So what you do is you just stop the abhisankara. That is all you do. Stopping. It is stopping the abhisankara. So the moment you stop the abhisankara, that means you're not running. And that is when you go to the dhyana, when you go up, when you go forward in the path. So that is what you should be doing. You shouldn't worry too much about the progress. It is sometimes it is said sometimes we don't know how far we go in this life. As in this life, we don't know if we are going to become anagami or sakadagami or arihat. We don't know that. And there is a certain extent to where we can go as well, because in the past, Vishaka only could go up to a certain level. Vishaka could only obtain Sotapanna. There are, and she became Sotapanna at the age of 7. And when she passed away, she was still Sotapanna. So we don't know how much we can go. So that is another thing. Okay, actually, this question came from a lady from Germany. Actually, she called me. She was so worried. She was frustrated. She was worried about the same fact that she has a feeling that she is slowing down. Her objective is to attain Nibbhana. She spoke to me about 2 hours. I mentioned that we had this discussion, but in that her point was she wanted to become enlightened soon. So you can't become enlightened soon. It's not like it's like you plant a seed and then you want the fruits or the results in 1 or 2 days. You can't do that. The only thing you can do is, after planting the seed, you look after it and treat it properly. That's all you can do. The outcome, the result will happen. If you treat it well, a good result will come. But when, we don't know. So what you can do is, you can water it, you can put fertilizer, you can look after it. So that's what you do. This is what we do. So you planted the seed of Sotapanna, or you grabbed the Dhamma, you listened to the Dhamma, you got it installed. Now you have to look after it, and then slowly, when it's supposed to happen, it will happen. But you can only look after it and treat it well. Until then, you have to make sure you treat it well. Treating it well is looking after it. Looking after the Raga, Dvesha, Moha, the consciousness, making sure you are in the right satya, samma sati, all the time. You're in conscious mind, making sure you're not going after Raga, Dvesha, Moha. So it's not. That is how you look after it. You can only do that. You cannot get the result. You cannot okay, I need to become Sakadagami on this day, and I'm going to be Anagami on this day. That is not how this is done. You do what needs to be done, and the result will come automatically. And that is an example used by Tathagata and Vahansi, this seed example. It's not an example from me. You plant the seed and you look after it. You do what needs to be done, and the fruits, you will get the fruits at the right time. That's how it is explained. I can't remember which sutra, which Pitaka and stuff like that, but that is how it's been explained. So this is something that is good to know. Some people, they think, okay, we got here, now we need to go. I had the same problem when I first met Abetero. When I first met Abetero, I went to him and I said to him, Abetero, I met Maharakatero about 9 years ago. I listened to his Dhamma about 9 years ago, and I am so unsatisfied with my road, with where I am, where I am, what I'm doing. I should be a monk by now. I should be an Anagami, at least Anagami by now. That's what I was saying. And he said, don't worry, son. That's not something that you can or I can tell. You just walk the path. You make sure you do the right thing. And then you will get to those places when you're supposed to go to those places. Don't stress too much on where you are now. As long as you know the Dhamma, as long as you understand Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, Chaturara, Satya, you are at least away from the Satara Apaya. Right? Now, walk the path. Do the right thing. And look after yourself. And then you will get there. But don't stress upon this. Because my point was, oh my God, some people who listen to Dhamma after me, they have become monks. I am still in the house. I think my pitfall is contemplating too much during the day, so when mind is impure, boring, to progress. Better to keep Satyam more control so much in the life, I guess. It answered big part of my question. Yeah, so this that question, I'm sure we all have this question. We all want to get this done with, but it is, what you need to understand is this Sansara is a long journey we came. Now we've just taken the U-turn just probably in this life, right? Don't expect it to end in a couple of months or a couple of days or a couple of years. This is Sansara is a long journey. You can't end everything you build up in terms of bad building, right? In 1 or 2 years. It's not easy. We have a lot of bad habits that we brought forward. So it's not easy as we want it to be. But I'm sure we are doing the right thing. I'm sure we are getting there slowly. I'm sure we are improving. That's what you need to be looking at. Yesterday or day before or last month or last year. Where was I? Am I suffering that much? If you are suffering less than last year or last month, you have gone further towards Nibbhana. That is what is important. That's how you compare and contrast. You don't see, okay, this is when I started, this is when I listened to the Dhamma, and I need to go to Nibbhana in this many years or this many months. So I'm still only Sotapanna. I have 3 more steps to go or something like that. That's not how it works. It's not like a company marketing plan or something like that, or a company objective trying to hit targets. It's not like that, unfortunately. So you just compare yourself to where you were, where you are now. And if you are less worrying, less suffering, you are walking in the right direction. So try to concentrate more and keep up with more and more Dhamma, concentrate more on Dhamma, and then you will go there eventually. I have had the same feeling a lot of time, thinking, oh, people, they listen to Dhamma, after a couple of months, they become monks, they wear a robe. What am I still doing here? I've got that feeling a lot of times. But it happens how it's meant to happen sometimes, right? It doesn't mean that you just give up everything and say it happens the way it's meant to happen. It's not that, right? You have to put effort into it. You have to work hard. Working hard, don't misunderstand working hard and trying to become enlightened. They are 2 different things, right? You have to put effort into it. You have to meditate. You have to listen to Dhamma. Those are things that you can do. This is treating that seed, that plant, making sure it's taken care of. That's how you take care of it. You have to give this right background surrounding samanantara. You need to create the proper samanantara. Then that will be protected. You need to protect it as well. You can't just leave it. That's it. Job done. I am not going to go to Satrapa anymore. That's it. No, that's not the way either. Because even an anagami person was just spending time doing nothing at one stage, and then Tathagata and Mahansa was asking him, "What are you doing? What is? You don't seem to be putting any effort." And then he was saying, "Yeah, what's the point? I am Managami, and I won't come back to the human life anymore. So I'll only be in a Brahmatala. So it's no, and then I'll become enlightened anyway. So what is the point?" And then Tathagata and Mahansa said, "You you were filled in with what's the better word for shit? So you come out of a hole. Well, we'll say a hole full of shit. Thing. And then you come up. Now you're saying I'm on the ground. So does that mean you don't smell? You still smell. Go wash yourself, is what Buddha said. In other words, you still have things left. So get rid of that as well. Try and get rid of that and become enlightened this life. So that's what Buddha said. So don't just think, okay, this is done, so I don't need to worry about it. So you still need to go. So they say, for example, if you take it's what's it called, a mud pit. If you are in there, up to your shoulders, you're just drowned up to the shoulders. When you put your head up, that's when you become a sotapan. Now you can see the Nibbhana. You can see where the outside is. Now you slowly come outside, and you come on top onto the ground. That's when you become anaga. But you still have mud on you. You need to go wash it. So that's when you become Arihat. And also saying that, I have something to add on to that story because it's very important. I think it will help you, Lucas, as well. Lucas's question. Portila. I think it's Portila. Portila Thero. He knew a lot about Dhamma. And he had preached a lot of Dhamma in previous Buddha's times as well. But he was never enlightened. I will come to your question after this. Portila Thero wasn't enlightened, but he was preaching Dhamma to a lot of people, a lot of monks. And one day, Tathagatan Wahanse said to Portila Thero, and sent him to a Thero that was 7 years old to learn from him. So at the end, I think this is Portila. I'm not 100% sure about the name of the Thero. And then the Thero went and asked, "What do I need to do, or what do I need to know?" And then this Thero, this 7-year-old Thero, sent this Thero into a mud pit. He asked this Thero to go in, keep walking until he was drowned up to his shoulders. Now he was drowned up to the shoulders. Now the Thero, the 7-year-old Thero said, "Now turn back and come back up." This is where the important thing is, right? This Thero was trying to come back up, but this is mud. You can't come back easily. You are drowned in mud. So this is, your head is up. Now you are Sotapanna. In an example, it's you can imagine that you are Sotapanna. Seen Dhamma. You have got to Samma Ditti. Or you know Chaturarya Satya. Now you want to come up to the ground. But you are still in mud. That is one thing that is very important in this context. You are still in mud. So you still have some of the bad things that you did. You are still in mud. You are walking up towards the ground, and you are still walking through the mud. And it is not easy for you to get up onto the ground. You are struggling, you're slowly moving forward through the mud. Right? So don't expect this when you become Sotapanna, when someone becomes Sotapanna, there's no sit, everything is pure. You're still in mud. You need to come up to the ground from away from the mud. But how you get there is you still need to walk through the mud, which is a very important thing here. So you slowly walk through the mud. You're still in mud, you're walking through the mud. You slowly come up. Try to apply this to your life. Apply to your to you. And this is how you get up onto the ground. So when this Thera was walking through, he understood the Dhamma. It is not easy, and you are still in the mud. That is something that you need to understand. People don't think that when they become Sotapanna, they expect it to be clean. Everything is fine now, it should be fine. But no, it's not. You are still in the deep shit, if I may use that word. You only took your head up from it. Now you are trying to walk, but you are walking in that same shit. You're slowly moving towards the ground, but you are going through that, if I may, shit. And then eventually you get up to that, to the ground, but you still have shit on you. Then you wash yourself and become clean. So I think this might be very useful, depending on how much you understood, how deeper you understood. And this question, Michael, I can't answer. These kind of questions I'm not able to answer because I'm not in a position to talk about someone else's Margapala. I haven't heard Abhay Thero mentioning that he's in a state. If he said to me, I am Anagami, then I would say. But I haven't heard him saying that. So I can't say it. And if there is more monks at this stage, I can't say that either. I know I am not there. I can say that. And if I get there, I probably can say that as well. But other than that, I can't talk about anyone else because I wouldn't know. This is a Buddha. This is something only a Buddha can see, and he himself can see. So if it's you would be able to know, and Buddha would be able to know. No one else would know where you are in terms of Margapala. So that is something special. Buddha Jnaneta Gochara. Only Tathagatan Vahanse could tell where he is, where anyone is. But the main thing is we can understand the Dhamma. We understand that this is the Dhamma. So if you understood the Dhamma from someone, say for example, if someone was listening to Abhay Thero's Dhamma, and if that person understood the Dhamma, as in got the Dhamma installed, or he got to know that he became Sotapanna from another person. And if the other person was Abhay Thero, then that means that Abhay Thero has a Margapala. So he has become at least Sotapanna, because otherwise you won't be able to become Sotapanna. So that is something that I can tell. So about the state, I don't know whether he has gone beyond that. How far he's gone beyond, I have no idea. I can't tell, and I'm not in a position to check that or anything. What matters is whether whether he's Sotapanna or not, and if anyone got the Dhamma from Abetero, which I have heard many people have, because I learned the Dhamma from Mohakayo. I heard the Dhamma first from Mohakayo, and that's when I realized the Anicca Dukkha Anatta properly. That's when I felt what Anicca Dukkha Anatta is. And that's when I got the feeling, this is it. This is what I was after. This is the real Dhamma. This is what I was looking for. What kind of crap was I after all this time? Whatever I was listening to, all this Sansara is not true. This is what I was looking for, and this is the real truth. I got the feel. And I know the changes that happened at the time. I was like, the feel that I got, and I can't express that feeling. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, imagine I missed this bit. Imagine I did not listen to this. I would have been lost in the Sansara for life. But now, thank God, or thank Ragakhayo, and thank Buddha. That is when you see the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha as, that is how you see. That is why they say, when you see Dhamma is when you see Buddha. This is when you see it. So that's the feeling you got. And then I spoke to my mother and arranged to go back to Sri Lanka to see Ragakhayo straight away. That's how much I got. Actually, it was unbelievable. And luckily I could go there and see Ragakhayo, and then even offer dane to Ragakhayo on another time. So yeah. So other than that, I can't say anything, and I know had Margapala for sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't be getting this Dhamma from. I wouldn't have got this from him. And the way he's explaining, it's unbelievable. It's everything. It was like so clear, and no one else could, open it like that. No one could even think of opening it like that and showing this is the real Dhamma, and how much it was closed. That's how, because it was so different. Whatever I have heard, I was looking for them. My mother was looking for me, and she was sending me every time she listened to a new Dhamma, she was sending me. We had this agreement, we still have. Whenever we find Dhamma, we share with each other. And she sends to me. And she was sending it to me every time she went to a new sermon or anything. And then, this is when we met Ragakhayo. So yeah, it was a very good experience. It was an unbelievable experience. But yeah, Abetero was Ragakhayo was a student, and so is Nivata Apetero. I don't know about Amada Sanatero. Amada Sanatero's might be Nivata Apetero. I don't know about that, but it doesn't matter. Once someone get the Dhamma from a noble person, then it doesn't matter. After that, it is Dhamma, right? Once you get the understanding, it doesn't change. Anicca Dukkha Anatta is Anicca Dukkha Anatta. It does not change, no matter what happens. So it stays with you. And the more you go forward, the more you get to know about and then you get to know in different ways. So Abhetero is and what one needs to know is there. It has said that there are 84,000 routes or 84,000 ways to get to Nibbhana. So it doesn't matter as long as you get. But in all the 84,000 ways, anicca dukkha anatta is there. What I'm saying is, some people concentrate on anicca, some people on dukkha, some people on dukkha samudaya nirodha marga. So those four, and then Sattis Bodhipakshika Dhamma. One of them, they just focus on one thing, and that is how they get to the Nibbhana. So it doesn't matter which route you're taking. Some people, they will concentrate on meditation, they will do meditation, and then they will go that way. Some people will listen to Dhamma, they will go that way. So there are different ways of walking. Once you get the right Dhamma, the most important thing is getting the right Dhamma and becoming Sota. Once you get to the Sotapanna state, then you can go however you like. It doesn't matter whose Dhamma you're listening to either, because you know what is right and what is wrong. Until then, you don't know. You don't know. Find out what is wrong and what is right. Once you get to know, then it doesn't matter whose Dhamma you're listening to. As long as you know what is Raga, Dvesha, Moha. Anything to do with Raga, Dvesha, Moha is not new. That you know. So any Dhamma with Raga, Dvesha, Moha is not Dhamma really. If it's Ragakhayo, Dvesakhayo, Mohakayo, that is proper Dhamma. That you know. So then you listen to that. So hope you learned something today, and hope you will practice, and hope you will apply whatever you learned. And yeah, we will have a similar discussion next week. Or if you have any questions, Lucas, if anyone has questions, that's still fine. But otherwise, we'll wind it up and then start next week. I will try to find something like this for next week as well. Maybe this Dhammapade Gatha, they are really good. They're really useful. So I will find a set. If I find it relevant, it will be good as well, rather than just pulling it from somewhere and bringing it in. Because this was very relevant, this Tanha Jayati Soko. So it applies to anyone anyway. So okay, Thirvan Sanna, everyone. Hope you attend Nibbhana soon. Thirvan Sanna.